Hello, my friends, and welcome. My name is Gita, and welcome to your meditation. Let's talk about this because, man, so many times we have so many hang-ups about meditation. And if I just, that phrase, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said to me, I can't meditate because my mind is too busy, I would be a very wealthy woman. Here is the deal though, my friends. Let us debunk some of the myths of meditation. Let's just get rid of that. And then I'm going to teach you a really fun one to do. And we'll just do it together and you can kind of try it on and see if this particular technique works for you. Knowing full well that if you don't like this technique, there are dozens of other ways to practice the art of meditation. So just sample this one, see if it works, see if it fits. If not, there are many others to choose from, and just keep experimenting till you find one that works for you. Because it's kind of like exercise. What's the best kind of exercise? The kind that you will actually do. Meditation is just like that. But before we meditate, let us clear up some myths. So often people think that they have to be able to sit still and have their mind completely empty and be totally peaceful and calm. And then they have to meditate. So the meditation, to me, even saying that makes me feel like this, like I just have to grin and bear it, like getting my teeth drilled by a dentist without Novocaine. It's just something you have to suffer through and somehow then you'll be enlightened. And that just sounds like really unpleasant and unrealistic. Here's the deal, different way to think about it, my friends. This is coming a little bit from integral yoga philosophy, just so you know. My background is in integral yoga, so this is sort of all through that lens. There are so many other lenses. Let's just use this one today so we're talking in a consistent framework. So in integral yoga, and if we look at the scriptures, the earliest scriptures where yoga was written down, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, for example, meditation is here, like at the end of the road. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens before it, and the step before it is the one I actually want to talk about. The step before meditation is concentration. So meditation is kind of like something that just happens. If your body is a little relaxed, if you got enough sleep the night before, if you've been kind of having a peaceful day, you practice concentration, a lot of times they say at that point you'll just slip naturally into meditation, which is that place of having a very peaceful, tranquil mind. But most of us don't just magically slip into that without a little preparation. So expecting yourself to meditate right off the gate and have a peaceful, empty, tranquil mind, day 1 of meditation or even day 10 of meditation is a little bit like, like the first time ever cooking a new dish and expecting it to be like spectacular that first time. Right? It might be good, but you get better and better and better at making your signature dish in the kitchen the more you do it. Or it's like expecting teaching your kid how to ride a bike and then being like, how come you didn't win the race on day 2 when they're just still trying to get their balance? So I'm just trying to say, have patience. It takes time. It takes practice. And the really cool thing though is that when we practice concentration, that step before meditation, when we practice concentration, meditation naturally happens on its own. You just kind of fall into it one day, be like, oh wow, there were a couple of minutes where I actually felt like my mind was kind of, It happens naturally. You don't have to force it or make it happen. Practice that step before, concentration, and that will bring you there. Think for a moment. I know you all have this because I have them too. Has there ever been a time in your life where you got so absorbed in something that you didn't even notice that time was passing? Examples from some of my students are when the first time they fell in love and they were talking on the phone to their new honey and they're like, oh my gosh, we've been talking for 3 hours. I had no idea. It's 2 a.m. I have to go to bed. Man, you were concentrating, you were there. Or sometimes even if you watch a movie and you get so absorbed in it, you don't even notice things are going on around you. Or you read a book and someone goes, hey, put the book down, we gotta go. Or if you're into sports and if you've ever been playing sports or even watching sports and you get so absorbed in what you're doing, you don't even know what time it is, what's going on, you haven't eaten, you're just in that zone. That's that supreme concentration. And I bet if you think about it, everyone has an example of a time when you have had that concentration and focus. Here's the trick that the yogis say, that if you stay in that concentrated state and you get used to practicing it, say every day for like 5 minutes a day, you just practice concentrating and concentrating and concentrating. Eventually over time, your mind and body will naturally just fall into meditation to where things are just very calm and peaceful and you're just sort of experiencing everything, but very much with equanimity, sort of an equal balance state. So that's the good news. You don't have to like meditate instantly and you don't have to force yourself to meditate, right? So release those two myths that you have to be able to empty your mind instantly. Done. Release that myth that you have to force yourself to do it because you can't force that concentration. Here's why. It has to be something you enjoy. Please have concentration be something you enjoy. Right now, I'm going to teach you a very enjoyable, to me anyway, and to like millions of other yogis and Buddhists for that matter, method of concentration that's just really relaxing and fun, especially if you like music and you like making music or that sounds like you might like it. Experiment and see what happens. We're going to practice a form of concentration, aka shorthand meditation, that's called japa meditation. And japa just means repeating a mantra out loud. A mantra is a very simple, short phrase that gives you something to concentrate and focus on. That's it. For our purposes here, we use the very, very literal classical definition of a mantra, which is a short phrase in Sanskrit, the language of yoga in essence, and the Vedas and all the indigenous wisdom traditions of India. So we use a classical mantra, which is a short phrase in Sanskrit. Now these short phrases in Sanskrit are so cool to chant because, well, it's fun to chant. So it's fun, it's enjoyable, so you'll do it. Here's the deal though, that mantra, we're gonna use Om Shanthi today. The mantra Om Shanthi doesn't just mean peace, like I am peaceful out there, or I hope I'm peaceful someday, or that person looks peaceful. No, Shanti actually creates peace. It is said that the ancient sages, these great forefathers and foremothers of ours who meditated, when they were in that meditative state, right, they concentrated and then they meditated and they felt profound peace, that what they heard in that peaceful state was Om Shanti. And they heard that vibration, the vibration of peace itself. And from that meditative state, they came back here to us busy-minded folks and they said, hey, you know what? If you chant Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, you will create that vibration of peace in your body and your mind. And it will help take you from concentrating on peace to being peace. Woo! Chanting the mantra also has a huge benefit on a neurological level. So this is putting my music therapist hat on here. And we know from all the great emerging research and science behind how music activates the brain, that when you're involved in active music making, something like chanting or singing aloud, that all the areas of your brain light up. Speech, cognition, memory consolidation, motor planning, etc., etc., etc. The whole entire brain lights up, which means that makes it so much easier to concentrate and potentially enter into a meditative state when your whole brain is working together. So instead of like washing the dishes and replaying that argument you had at work in your head, so you're fractured in the past and the present, active music making brings you right here, right now. And we have the brain mapping to show how that happens. It's amazing to see the whole brain light up like that. Chanting aloud also has another great physical benefit, that when you have a nice, steady, slow beat, like how we're going to chant today, your body starts to entrain or match the tempo that you're singing at. So if we're chanting at a nice, steady, regular pace, and then it gets slower and slower and slower, your heart rate, and of course your respiration because you're chanting, but your heart rate and the other electrochemical processes of your body start to slow down to match that rate. It's like a way of using the music to trick your body and your mind to move into a meditative state where it's working together and all the processes of the body begin to slow down, which make it much easier to experience that relaxation response and that clarity of mind where you can sort through the stimuli of the world from a more peaceful state. So it's absolutely powerful, and I cannot wait to do it with you. So let's get started on some chanting. Amazing stuff I have seen at work, but experiment for yourself. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to practice concentration, which may or may not lead to meditation. Results are not guaranteed. And here's the deal. To meditate, you just and practice this japa meditation, this repetition of a mantra out loud. There's 3 ways to do it. And I'm going to go through all 3 of them. The first way is to chant it aloud. We're going to do it together. We're just going to be chanting Om Shanti together. And then at some point, when you feel like you're in the groove and you're concentrating on that mantra, you can just go to lip movements. So it still gives the mind something to kind of do. Instead of thinking about what's for dinner and what's going to happen in the world and oh my goodness, keep that mantra going with lip movements. Third way is just mental repetition. Just keep it going silently. If at any point, say you're doing mental repetition, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like thinking about everything else, go back to lip movements or doing it aloud. You can go back and forth and play with those 3 according to wherever you are that day. After I'm going to lead some chanting aloud, I'll do a few lip movements, and then we'll do it mental repetition. And then at some point, I like to even drop that mental repetition, even just for 10 seconds, just sort of see if I can drop it and sit there. And maybe sometimes in that brief 10 seconds, I might be actually meditating for a moment. I hope that serves. I hope that little explanation makes sense. Drop comments below if you're like, what are you talking about, yoga woman? I do not understand. First of all, release the high set of expectations. Just practice concentration 5 minutes a day to start. That's more than enough. If you miss a day, I don't know, just do it the next day. It's really no big deal. It's just that you kind of just keep practicing it and naturally you'll get better at it. Can't help but have that happen. So let's do a little meditation. I'm gonna try and keep this at like 6-minute meditation. How's that? Be brand new beginner, join me. Have no fear, this is gonna be fun. So kind of like get yourself settled. You can sit in a chair. I've got one around here somewhere. You can sit in a chair, no problem. You can sit with your back against a wall. You can sit, good old fashioned crisscross like kindergarten. Some of my students, when they're brand new beginners, it's super comfy more to sit like this because they're just not comfortable yet being on the floor. You can even do like this. I mean, guys, be comfortable, be relaxed. As time goes on and as you practice, you'll find a really nice position for yourself. Some people really love this one too. Sorry, the W sit. Some of my students love that one. But kind of get yourself aligned right now. Do a little moving and wiggling around. You can kind of roll your shoulders up and back. Take a deep breath in and out. Letting the body have a minute just to kind of settle into where it is. Maybe a little twist to the right. Maybe do a little twist to the left. Just kind of letting the spine wring itself out a little bit. And kind of go back and forth. Explore around a little bit. You just want to think of like kind of unkinking the body a little bit. Like you stretch after you get out of the car, or like an animal stretches after they sleep. You want to set that up so that you can concentrate without being like, oh my gosh, my hips hurt. Take a couple more breaths in and out. As you keep taking those breaths in and out, let your gaze fall to the floor If you feel comfortable with it, you can close your eyes or just let your gaze remain on the floor. But wherever you are, let your attention start to come within. And take another breath in and out. Sigh out the day. One more breath in. And exhaling out. Releasing anything that happened before. Letting go of anything you need to do in the future. And just know that for the next few minutes, you just get to play with a little chant. So to begin, we'll do 3 ohms, which will help to lengthen our exhale and begin our connection to concentration. And then I'll begin the Om Shanti chant. If at any point, once you feel like you know it, just join along. It's very simple and it repeats. I'll lead it aloud, then I'll go into lip movements, and then into silent repetition. So when it gets quiet, no need to distract your focus. I'm right here holding the time. Just continue with that mental repetition of the mantra, building the vibration of peace in the body. Please bring your hands together at heart center. This balances the left and right halves of the body. Inhale for Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, 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 Om within, taking a smooth, quiet inhalation. And a slow, relaxed exhale. Taking another deep breath in and out. One more breath in, breathing in peace, Shanthi. And as you exhale, sending that peace all through the body and mind. And then just gently opening the eyes, releasing the meditation. And that's it, my friends. Concentration practice, meditation on Om Shanti. Keep practicing 5 minutes a day, and the benefits will be a calm, tranquil mind that can be resilient no matter what comes your way. So thank you for practicing with me. Om Shanti. Peace to you.